This event should be a wonderful activity for the entire community because we're inviting everyone, people from near and far, and we're just really anxious and looking forward to such a lovely event. We will go through our regular worship service the way it normally is planned. After the services, we will have games and we will also have a lovely meal. And many people over the years always come to Adams United Methodist Church because they say the food is just delicious.
Well, to me, the Family and Friends event is where you bring the community together and family and honor your ancestors, the ones who actually built the old church, which was next door to this church.
What we try to do is get family, friends together to celebrate our ancestors on this day. And because we're a kind of small community, all the other churches seem to come in and participate with us. And after service, we're doing a cookout, and we have multiple games for children and adults. So it has been a pleasure for me to work on the Family and Friends Committee.
I was raised in this church ever since I was a little girl. I got Christian here, baptized, confirmed, and I attended Sunday school. And I was on an acolyte, carried a cross and the candles. And we had Sunday school every Sunday under the leadership of Miss Hattie, Miss Carrie Matthews, and Miss Annie Mims. And I really enjoy Adams because it helped me not to raise and be a better person in my life.
Adams is, to me, a safe sanctuary that's made up of basically family. In this whole community, there's hardly anyone that's not related to this church family. And it seems like God has fixed it so that we are this kind of family. This church has such a feeling of warmth. People will come in and say, oh, I've enjoyed your service and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'll be coming back again. Some of them do come back, some don't. But it's just that feeling you get when you come into Adams's doors. And even with the new pastors that we get, they have that certain feeling about this church. And this is how it has impacted my life. My kids grew up in this church. This is my daughter, Tamika, and I attended that old church over there from my little girl on up. And I sang on the choir, so we had a little junior choir under the leadership of my mother, and then we had another choir, and then the gospelers, and now the gospelers are still singing in this church, and my mother's been deceased now for 20 years. But it just has that, it's just that love that's in this church. And I'm hoping that it won't ever leave.
This caused me, again, to come back to the church, come back here when I came back closer to the community, or came back to the community, knowing that my ancestors had spent most of their time there. My mother's family, the Parker family, was instrumental in, most of them attended this church until later in life, and I still have family here as well.
They used to sell the dinners, which everybody from different communities would come and enjoy, and they had baseball games, which we loved watching and everything, and it was just a great time for everybody.
Adams have impacted my life by allowing me to grow spiritual within Christ. It's impacted my life by allowing me to humble myself before God, and that to help the people in my community with a food ministry that was started at Adams.
One big thing about it, every Sunday morning, rain or shine, we were ready to come to Sunday school. Before we got to Sunday school on Sunday morning, we had family prayer at the house. We all had prayer at the house where we read the scripture lessons, and once we did our scripture lessons, Bible reading, all the kids took turns. We was packed up coming to Sunday school where Aunt Hattie was our Sunday school teacher, and that's where we learned. We did learn things at home, but in Sunday school you always had to know the 23rd Psalm by heart, and you always had to know the Lord's Prayer by heart. Those were things that was instilled in you that you had to know.
Miss Hattie Garrett teaching the Sunday school, and every Sunday you had to come with a new scripture. So if you were going to Sunday school for years and years, you knew a lot of scriptures, and you couldn't bring it on a piece of paper. You had to say the scriptures by heart. So I thought that was an interesting story because I remember not only Miss Hattie, but Miss Bell Hope. I must have been out of college and into the world, and they still called me all the time. I was still like that little girl in church. And that was very warm to know that these people still cared about you and followed you throughout adulthood. You were still that little person that came to church, and they weren't letting go.
Well, this is going to be my first Family and Friends Day. I was assigned here last July to serve here at Adams. So I am so excited about Family and Friends Day because I've heard so much about it, and the committee has so much energy, and it's wonderful to know that a congregation wants to honor the ancestors, the ones that have made the foundation of the church and the ones that have made such an impression on the growth of folks here.